After years of court cases, it looks like the Mariner Senior Living Facility will be built at the former Killam Estate on Pleasant Street, as the land court judge has ruled in favor of the developers. Chris Stevens of the Marblehead Reporter joined me via Zoom this week to discuss what happens next.
So, Chris, it seems like we've been talking about this for quite a long time, almost forever here. Give us an update on the Mariner project.
We have been talking about it forever, by the way. And looking back at my timeline, this actually started in 2015. July of 2015. So we've been talking about this for a very long time. But as far as in terms of the Mariner, the appeals court ruled in the Mariner's favor. They ruled with Pleasant Street LLC, which are the three local developers that want to build the, 83,000 square foot assisted living facility on Pleasant Street at the old Killam Estate, which is a pretty big deal because I think this is the last go round. The complainants had a couple of main arguments. One of them was that the ZBA really didn't have a right to hear the case. They erred in issuing the special permit because it was within this 2-year time frame. If the ZBA denies a project, then the developer can't come back. They can't bring that same project back before the board within a 2-year time frame, and the ZBA did that. But the Pleasant Street LLC argued that it wasn't the same thing because they were responding, the ZBA was responding to a remand hearing from the lower court. And in the remand hearing, they have no requirements such as that. There is no 2-year time limit requirement. And the appeals court agreed. They said, they're absolutely right. With the remand hearing, they can do whatever they want. It's like it's starting the hearing again. It's giving them a new hearing. So there's no time limit. There's no phrase on that. So that was one thing. And there were a couple of other smaller, that was really the big one. There were a couple of other smaller things, but the court basically just said the lower court judge made no error. We can't find anything wrong with his decision. Therefore, we will not overturn the special permit. So they got it. They're getting ready. I talked to Michael Lafayette and he said as soon as weather permits, they're going to start preparing the land to clear the land.
Now, we've heard that before.
We have heard that before. They
Is
got very
there,
excited. Yeah, they got very excited a couple of years ago and actually held a big party, because they thought that was going to be the last appeal. And they knew then, that was in December of, what was that, like 2017, 2018? 2019, I'm sorry. In 2019, they had a ruling handed down where they had tried to appeal a decision, and again, LLC won, and they thought, this is it, we're going to go. And they had a party and everybody was really happy. And then 2 days later, complainants filed this appeal with the Superior Court. So, but I think like the state Supreme Court is the last, maybe they have that. I'm not really, I think this is the last appeal. I did reach out to the complainants. I have not heard from them. So.
It's kind of one of those I'll see it I'll believe it when I see it situations.
I know. It's funny. People were really divided. Social media is, that's our barometer for everything these days. And people were really divided on social media, just as they were over the issue. There were people that were just like, yes, now I'll have someplace to retire to. I'm putting my name in tomorrow. And other people were like, it's Armageddon, that this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen. I think it'll be really interesting. Like you said, we'll see it when we see it. The good news is, I think, or part of the good news is that one of the big concerns was this neighborhood is being very heavily impacted because they're building the new school, which is only, a quarter of a mile behind where the Mariner is going to go. But they're ahead of schedule. So that new school is on schedule to be finished in September. They'll probably just be breaking ground from this. So they'll just move from one construction site to the other. At least they won't both be going on at the same time. So I don't know how much comfort that is to people in the neighborhood, but I don't know. At least it might make things a little bit easier.